Hey guys, it's John back again, and I was sent a very long question, and the answer that I will give will be very short, but I'll delve into why it's very short as well. I'm going to read this question because I think it's important that you hear the entirety of this question. What, in your view, is a soul? How does it differ from the Holy Spirit? My view is that the Holy Spirit is our out-of-body consciousness projected when remote viewing. I believe upon death the Holy Spirit ascends, to use a consciousness metaphor, to dissipate into God universal consciousness. I do not believe the Holy Spirit survives death intact after ascension. So in effect, the Holy Spirit of John Davis is not the Holy Spirit of John the Beloved. I do not understand the nature of the soul and have found different views on what the soul is among different religions and teachings. In a sense, we have any sort of everlasting individuality. I guess that is the soul. So in that sense, the soul of John Davis is the same as the soul of John the Beloved, but that seems like it may just be our human rationalization. I do not know of any authoritative teaching on the soul, so please share your views. Is reincarnation a linear thing performed by a soul, or is reincarnation simply a descending of a part of God consciousness into individuality? So, for instance, the God consciousness experience of John Davis could embody some John the Beloved and some Jacob, but perhaps John the Beloved, being 2,000 years old, does not include the God-conscious experience of Jacob. To add more confusion, perhaps the God-conscious experience of Peter the Apostle was descended into the incarnation of someone in the U.S. and, overlappingly, in time, also descended into someone incarnated in Japan. This can get confusing, but it is not necessarily invalid. Sorting this out seems to depend on what the soul is. So what is a soul? Did you get all that? Okay, good. Glad you got all that. Here's my view on the soul. The word soul and the words Holy Spirit are interchangeable. Period. When I read this message, what strikes me is the line towards the end where he says to add more confusion. That's the line that gets me. Even he at the end of this question is saying this is so confusing. But everything that I know, from my regression forward, everything, from my experiences in Egypt, from my experience all over the world, everything is simple. It's so simple we cannot grasp it, right? The soul and the Holy Spirit are the same thing. And we are all part of one. We probably all have the various aspects of every person. In fact, I pretty much think we do. And the Holy Spirit, when we get out there, is us without fear, but it's also us being able to tap into the consciousness of everything. So why do I have John the Beloved memories? Somehow I have tapped into those memories. Am I the physical incarnation of John the Beloved? I have no idea. Nor does it in any way, shape, or form matter. Does not matter who anybody was in a past life. It only matters what they are doing right here, right now, in this present moment, because it's the only moment we have. As far as what is the spirit itself, the soul, or the soul itself. What is the soul itself? Well, if you think about even in any of the other definitions of what a soul is, he says here I do not understand the nature of the soul and have not found different views on what the soul is among. The reason they haven't found it is because they can't define it either. The reason it's not there is because they don't know what it is. Because it is, in my view, it literally is God, combined God and John consciousness, and then those two things come together for the physical experience that shows us a separation from God so that we can understand God, period. As far as soul, it's just another word for the knowingness and the space in between physical reality and God. It's that place where the Holy Spirit lives, the Holy Spirit in the soul, the place where you know your individuality, but you also know the God consciousness. It's a place in the middle. And what a soul does, and what a lot of people, when you dive into souls and you start looking at what souls say, most religions don't talk about it because it's not in their religion. It's not different from, they don't talk about the soul as an individual entity like this. They talk about, it's a soul, and then they brush over it and they go on to the next thing. Well, the soul is us. The Holy Spirit is us. You on the earth plane is you separated from love, separated from God in some form, at some level. And you, in the Holy Spirit form, are tapping into God consciousness. Is that where you get that information from? And I think the biggest struggle that most people have, and I think that this question kind of shows it all, is they're trying to, quote unquote, figure it out, when in reality there's nothing to figure out. What it really is simple. As simple as you can possibly make it simpler. It's that easy. People, in my regression, that was the big lesson of the whole thing. It's so simple that no one gets it. And when I look at a question like this, I see so much drive and searching for answers, mainly to make sense of the simple. And Joshua said, when you seek for a path will be laid before you. When you seek for a path will be laid for you. So when you look for answers, or you look for something, it's going to just trickle to you, right? It's going to trickle something to you that will match your example. See? So you have been, I don't know what the soul is, so I am searching for the soul, so you got to search. You were given a search. You were given a path to follow. The point of my response to this is that and the reason I love this question actually is because I think that it very much encapsulates the biggest issue that all humanity has. They want to make it more complicated than it really is, and they start adding layers on it, and they start adding extraneous information around it. And when they're so stuck in those questions and trying to put all those things around it, they're all based in some form around, the fear of not knowing, the fear of not understanding. They're based in a fear. And the simplicity of this is for you to let it be simple and let go of the fears. Let it be simple and let go of the fears. I'm going to say that one more time. Let it be simple and let go of your fears. Because there is no need to define it any further. Spirituality, as I've said many times, is a being and a feeling, not a researching, not a structure of information. It's a being and a feeling. A being and a feeling. So whenever you're in this mental struggle, that's a negative state. What is that negative state? That negative state is fear, right? Negative, positive, period. Love, fear, period. If you're not feeling good about something, or you're struggling with something mentally, it's a fear of not, see this furrowed brow thing? You got that going on, there's a fear in there, right? You get with the eyebrows popped up and the feeling that is the opposite. That is love. It does not have to be difficult. It does not have to be convoluted with information. If you really want to reach that feeling, look at the goosebumps rising up in my arms. If you really want to reach that feeling, get simple. Get easy. Simplify. Clean your slate of all extraneous thought around it, and just start again with love and fear. Start again with love and fear. Because if you start again with love and fear, you will experience an entirely different experience. You will experience this feeling and being of your soul / Holy Spirit. Because the more you can release your fears, the more you can experience the Holy Spirit / soul. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Any of it. None of it matters. It only matters that we are expressing God, and God is love. So, it's a long way to go to answer a long question, but it was a very, very, very important question, because it helps me demonstrate how complicated we make the search, the quest for this, right? It's only when you go to the smallest and the simplest. And, the story I told about the woman in the car with me, and, why do cars merge easily with you? Because I love driving. That's the simple reason. That's the simple answer. There was no other deep answer in that, right? Who are you? I am John Davis. Do I have memories of that past life? Sure I do. How are you getting those? I don't know. It's not important. It is not important. The only thing that matters in your world is what you do with this moment here. It doesn't matter about anything else. And the quest to figure it out is people trying to, ascend and get to that space. But they don't realize the ascension happens when you shed yourself of the fears, you shed yourself of the information, and you just feel. That's how you get to your Holy Spirit, your soul, and you come to understand it. That's how you get to this oneness, because the reality of it is it's all one. And God, universal consciousness, is we are all part of it, and we are individual of it, and we are in a physical plane during it. And it's all happening at once. So ascension and descension and, just be love and realize that your soul, your higher self, your Holy Spirit is you without your fear. The individual you without your fear. And whether you go up into lose your individuality, who knows? Do you know? I don't know. But I think it's important that we don't lose ourselves in theory when the practice is right here, right now, and simple. Don't create paths to nowhere. So there you go. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.